I want to ask you a really difficult question. And the question is, who are you? Really, who are you? I don't know if you're like me, but there have been many times when I've looked in the mirror and asked that question, like, who am I? You know, growing up, people give you all kinds of names. And so, of course, many of you know my name is Bill. And the reason my parents gave me that name is because there are many Bills in my family, and the word Bill is short for William, which means conqueror. So they spoke that into my life. They wanted me to be someone who is able to conquer. But I was given a lot of other names growing up too. I remember in grade school, I had a teacher, and she literally called me stupid. And the interesting thing about these names that are given to us is that we actually start believing them and they start impacting our behavior. Do you know that once I got this name, I actually went from a straight A student with getting rewards and awards to like barely passing? There are other names that we're given too, aren't there? Like maybe a word that you've been given or name is ugly. Or maybe it's broken. Something you did in your past, has broken you and you can't seem to escape the stigma. Or maybe you personally were rejected. And so we carry these names around us. Words like unlovable, not good enough, discarded, trash. What do you do when this is what you believe you are? In Ephesians 1:3, Paul reminds us that we need to give praise to God the Father, our Lord Jesus Christ, who has blessed us in the heavenly realms with every spiritual blessing. Why? Because He chose us. God chose you before the creation of the world. Before you were even born, God knew you and He picked you. It says, in love, He predestined us for adoption to sonship through Jesus Christ, in accordance, and I love this part, with His pleasure and His will. Do you know that God actually has a name tag for you? And maybe you've never heard this before, but today you need to hear it. His name for you is loved. And maybe that's hard for you to believe. Maybe it's even hard for you to accept, but you must, because the creator of the universe, the one who formed you and made you, said that's what you are. And He knew you wouldn't believe Him. So He came into this world in Jesus, and He lived a life filled with love. And He even went to the cross to say, whenever you doubt how much I love you, I will stretch my arms out to remind you, this is how much I love you. And so He knew who you were going to be before you were born. He knew what circumstances you would have to endure. He even knew the mistakes you would make. And you know what? He still chose you. He exchanged our lies, the labels that other people put on us or we put on ourselves, and He replaced them with His truth, His love, His robe of righteousness, the Bible calls it. And so He adopted us. Why? For His pleasure. And so I have friends who have adopted kids, and the beautiful thing about adoption is that they choose those children. And so I want to ask you this question. Who do you believe that you are? Because what you believe will change everything. It really will. And so today, my hope and prayer for you is that you would actually believe the truth about who God says you are. You are loved. And when you really believe that, it changes everything. And that is a stepping stone toward being who God has created you to be.